and we're talking about a beginner-friendly marketing plan for your first digital product. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome. My name is Dee, and I am a digital product seller, but also generally a digital entrepreneur and software developer and writer. Over the years, I've built a lot of digital businesses using written content, and I teach people here how to build a digital business from 0 to 10K a month using strategy and identity shifting. That's what I do over here. And I'm doing this challenge, 30 days of live streams, and today's day 21. I've got 9 days left. So if you're watching this on the replay or listening to this on the replay, then you just fast forward it to when I get to the actual point. But if you are coming in and listening on the live stream, then welcome. I'll wait a bit for anyone to come into the live. And I'm sorry that I'm not showing my face, but I've had some issues. I don't know what's going on, but every time I come on to the live, it just glitches and freezes. I don't know what's going on. I thought it was an internet problem, but it doesn't seem to be the case, because when I'm doing lives on TikTok, that doesn't happen. So I don't know whether if it's a platform problem, or I don't know. But anyway, apologising in advance if you hear any kind of sounds in the background, because there is construction going on in my building. There's nothing I can do about it. That's one thing I like about TikTok, is that they have an option to reduce noise on the live stream, but they don't seem to have that option on YouTube. I'm going to wait for about a few more minutes for anyone to jump into the live. But I'm going to do a quick poll as well. I don't think the polls actually come up though on the replay. I don't see it coming up on the replay. So I'll be waiting just to see if anyone comes in. But I want to say something quickly, and that is one of the things that I've noticed a lot of people have issues with is mindset when it comes to building a digital business. And this is how I handle it, is you need to go into everything you're doing as the person who already does the thing. Not, oh, I'm trying to be a digital product seller, or I'm trying to be a content creator, or I'm trying to be... You are that person because you're doing it. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to do a quick poll before I get into it. But today we're talking about a beginner-friendly marketing plan for digital product sellers. And by the way, selling digital products is something that I think everyone should do, regardless. If you have a 9-to-5 job, if you have a business, if you already have a business, especially if you have an offline business, building a digital product business on the side or in addition to is really powerful. For example, if you're a hairdresser and you have a hair salon, create a digital product for people to help them to maintain their hair while in between salon visits. You can create an e-guide like that, and you can sell it to anyone who comes into your salon when you do their hair. Say, do you mind if I send you a WhatsApp message with a link to my digital product? That's extra revenue. That's building authority as a business owner as well. There's so many benefits of building a digital product business as a business owner as well. You don't have to be someone who just does online business. Anyway, I'm going to get into it in a second. If you have any questions before I start, please do leave those questions in the chat, and I'll answer those questions before I get into it. Because usually when I'm doing these, I like to just talk continuously without stopping. So, right, I want to ask this question. What is stopping you from launching your first digital product? What is stopping you from launching your first digital product? I'm gonna make this as a poll right now. But you can also answer in the chat as well. I know a lot of people struggle with consistency. I know a lot of people struggle with coming up with ideas. So what's actually stopping you? So I'm just creating a poll right now. Fear. You know, there's so many reasons why people might feel scared to start. So okay, I'm done with this poll. So when you see it, you can answer the question in the poll or also in the chat as well. So let's go. A beginner-friendly marketing plan for your first product. And by the way, this marketing plan does not include adverts and all of that kind of stuff. So marketing your first digital product, it can feel harder than creating it. It's interesting because in the beginning when you start, starting is the problem. Once you've created the product, marketing it becomes the problem. So you start off with one problem of actually getting the thing off the ground in the first place and doing it. And then the second problem is marketing it. And creating it really isn't that difficult, to be honest with you. With all the tools available now, creating it isn't that hard. You know, there are platforms, so many platforms to choose from, strategies to learn, and advice coming from every direction. And doing nothing because everything feels like too much is something that a lot of people experience. So this plan is for beginners who want clarity, not complexity. So for this, there's no funnels, there's no ads, and there's no overwhelm. Just a simple way to get your first product in front of the right people. So the first step is to pick one platform. You know, for me, I'm a bit of an extremist, so I kind of like to do multiple things at the same time. So I would be on YouTube, I would be on Medium, I would be on TikTok, I would be on, you know, another platform. But if you're someone who really, you know, you're just starting out and you struggle with consistency and you struggle with really sticking to something, then you want to pick one platform. So if you already are on, say, Instagram and you're quite comfortable with Instagram and you feel like you can create more content on there, you can choose a platform where you already show up, where you feel comfortable explaining ideas and your audience already pays attention. You know, I have an online friend who he has a TikTok page where he talks about relationships. He has over 30,000 followers, high engagement. This is a perfect candidate for to build a digital product business, because he already has the audience, he already has the attention, he already has the platform, and people are there eager to learn whatever he has to say. So if you're someone who already has a platform and you're not selling digital products, then you are missing a trick. If you already have a platform, but you're not, you don't have a lot of followers, so you're already on a platform, but you don't have a lot of followers, but you're already creating on there, then you want to get laser focused and you want to start creating content that is helpful. Consistency on one channel beats scattered effort across 5 different channels. I would say go ahead and do a challenge, a content challenge. So if you want to launch your digital product, do a content challenge, like a 30-day sprint. Tell people you're doing this 30-day sprint. So define one clear problem. This is what you need to be doing. Your product should solve one specific problem for one specific person. Ask yourself this question: what are they struggling with right now? What are they tired of Googling, and what do they want fixed quickly? So when you're thinking about an audience, you're not thinking about, oh, there's many, many people. You're thinking about one person. And what problem does that one person have? And how can you help them solve that problem with your digital product? And your content should help to solve those problems, but then the next logical step should be purchasing your digital product. Your marketing should repeat this problem often so the right people recognize themselves immediately. So this is where people struggle as well. They struggle with ideas because they think they need a million ideas. No, you don't. You need to keep repeating the same thing over and over again in different ways. Your content should be a repeat of the same idea over and over again. Because the more you repeat the same idea, the faster it becomes embedded in the minds of those people that need the help. They keep on seeing the same thing, but in different ways. They might watch your content once or read your content once and store it away somewhere. And then they read it again and they're like, oh, I remember this. And then they read it again. And then they read it again. They become familiar with it and they begin to know, like, and trust you. And that is when they purchase. And you want those people to recognize themselves immediately in the content that you're producing in terms of the problems the problem that they might have. So, for example, for me, on this channel, I am really focusing on people that are building digital business, whether it be a mindset thing or whether it be a strategy thing. I'm constantly providing solutions to the problems that people have in relation to building a digital business and how to solve those problems. One of those problems is, like I said, could be consistency. Another problem could be mindset. That's why I've created my 33 digital abundance challenge. For this one, it actually solves two problems, the digital abundance challenge, and that is consistency, getting started generally, but consistency and mindset. That's what my digital abundance challenge solves. Link in bio for that if you're interested in that. You see, and I also have a 90-day accelerator program to teach people how to build a business from 0 to 10K a month. And that solves a problem. It solves the problem of not really knowing what to do when it comes to building a digital product business in order to actually make money. And going from the 0 to the 10Ks, you hear people saying, oh, I make 10K a month, I make 10K a month. And often people are like, how do I make 10K a month from a digital product? And so I've created a program to help people along the way. Step 3 is to create 3 core content topics. This is sort of touching upon what I just previously said about repeating the same idea. Instead of coming up with a billion different ideas, you just keep repeating them. 3 core content topics. For me, I actually have 5 core ideas that I keep repeating. If you know much about Alex Hormozi, he talks about this. He said people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Meaning that you don't have to keep on teaching something over and over again with your content. You just need to keep reminding people. So instead of posting randomly, rotate between the problem, why it's frustrating, the solution, how to think about fixing it, and the result. That is the problem, why it's frustrating, the solution, how to think about fixing it, and the result, and that's what changes after. And so your product is actually selling the transformation. This keeps your content focused and your message clear without burning you out. Another problem that a lot of creators face is burnout. And why do creators face burnout? Because often they're just throwing lots of random content, hoping for the best. They have a billion different ideas, but they're not really getting anywhere in terms of making sales because they're just always thinking, oh, I need to come up with a new idea. Ideation is the problem. I need to come up with more ideas. No, you need to just come up with 3 to 5 core ideas, absolute maximum, and you keep on rinsing and repeating those. And so you know what content you're going to create throughout the week because you know that I'm going to create a problem piece of content and why it's frustrating, okay? I'm going to create a solution piece of content and I'm going to teach how to think about fixing it. I'm going to create a result and I'm going to do what changes after, okay? the type of content I'm creating right now in this live stream, this type of content is actually a solution, because I'm giving you the answer. I'm telling you this is what you need to do. If your problem is marketing, this is what you need to do. Previously, I did a live stream about the mistakes that digital product sellers make, especially beginners. And I listed all the mistakes, and I actually helped to solve those mistakes in the stream. But I could also create another piece of content where all I'm doing is solving the problem. But I'm not talking about the mistake specifically, I'm just solving the problem. So you need to come up with 3 core content topics and stick to those, and don't even think about trying to come up with anything else. And so you have your problem content, you have your solution content, you have your results content, and that is it. Your results content could be you talking to a previous client and showing the results, you showing your own results. If clients don't want to come on your stream or come on your, listen, if some clients might not want to show their faces, or they might not want to help you with your content in terms of putting out a testimonial or something like that. But you can show the results by showing your own results if you don't want to show anyone else's results. An example of this type of content is to actually interview a previous client or an existing client. Another example is to create a short form video where you have like a comment from someone who has tried your strategy and they've seen results. That's a result type of piece of content. Okay. So step 4 would be to talk about the product before you sell it. Don't wait until launch day to mention your product. You want to share why you're creating it, who it's for, what it helps with, and what it won't do. A very good example of this is a lady called Natanya Bravo. She is on YouTube, I believe on TikTok as well. She created something called the Delulu Challenge, and the way she launches her products is very strategic. She'll create a whole bunch of content about why she's creating it. She'll create a whole bunch of content about who it's for. She'll create a whole bunch of content about what it helps with. And she'll create a whole bunch of content about what it won't do. Familiarity builds trust, and trust makes selling easier. So it's not just about the content that you keep on repeating, but it's also about showing up regularly as much as you possibly can, because people become familiar with you and eventually click that buy button, which is what you want. Because what's the point of running a business if no one's buying anything? You might as well just close it. So the next step is to make the call to action obvious. People don't know what to do unless you tell them. End your content with clear direction. Download the guide, start with the checklist, get the template here. So for me, I have a newsletter, and I also have something called the 33 Digital Abundance Challenge. And that particular product, what it does is it solves the problem of consistency as a digital creator and the mindset issue and limiting beliefs that you might be facing as a digital creator. It solves those 2 problems actually in one product. So that product is available in my bio, link up there. If you're watching this on the replay, it will be in the description. So the next obvious step should be for them to purchase your digital product. If the next step isn't obvious, most people won't take it. So make your call to action very, very obvious. Okay? Step 6 is repeat more than you think you should. Beginners often stop too soon, not because the plan doesn't work, but because it hasn't been seen enough yet. Repetition builds recognition. Recognition builds confidence. Confidence leads to sales. Let me say that again. Repetition builds recognition. Recognition builds confidence. Confidence leads to sales. I'm looking at this poll, and I can see that 50% of people said what's stopping them from launching a digital product is they don't know what to create. The tech feels overwhelming. So it seems like a 50-50 thing. When it comes to the tech, you need to find the platform that is the easiest to use. It's as simple as that. And if I'm going to be honest with you, out of all the platforms I've used, Standstore is the easiest. Yes, you do have to pay for Standstore. It's $29 a month for the cheapest package. But in my opinion, it is the easiest platform when it comes to selling digital products. It doesn't have all of these bells and whistles in there. It's the easiest one. PayHip is free. Gumroad is also free to start. I mean, you can pay for the premium option, but they have a free option which is free forever. But I find that PayHip is a little bit harder to use. Gumroad is also a little bit harder to use for a beginner, in my opinion. So if you find the tech overwhelming, pick the easiest option, Standstore. The $29 a month, yeah, it's a bit nah, but it's the cheapest. Sorry, it's the easiest in my opinion. Don't know what to create? Well, if you don't know what to create, then you need to look within yourself and ask yourself, what problems have you had and how have you solved them? Because it's not always about looking at what other people are doing and saying, okay, well, this product sells, so I'm going to just create a product that emulates this product. Ask yourself, what problems have I solved and what products could I create? Because I have the answers to some questions that people might have. For example, if you're somebody who really knows how to bake well, you know how to bake cakes and biscuits and bread and every other thing, why would you want to create a digital product about making money online if you know nothing about it? And that's what a lot of people do. They focus on a product that they think is going to sell based on what's popular. But actually, a lot of people want to learn how to bake bread. If you're someone who knows how to braid hair, like afro hair, you can create a course teaching people step by step how to braid hair, step by step how to build a nail salon business, step by step how to build a hair salon business. Because the truth of the matter is that there is not much information out there about that. Most people that are setting up a restaurant business or a hair salon business or something, most people, they're starting from scratch. They don't know what they're doing. They're going sort of off of, instinct and maybe just asking people, but they don't really know the blueprint often. It can take a very long time. So if there was a book or a course that someone could just purchase and just go through all the steps, why wouldn't someone buy that? I'm talking about those that have said in the poll that they don't know what to create. The easiest thing is to look within yourself and ask yourself a question. What do I know how to do? And what can I teach others? How can I teach them? In which format? And ask yourself, what am I good at in terms of when it comes to delivery? Am I someone who knows how to speak well? If you know how to speak well, then you can create a product that allows you to talk. If you're good on camera, you want to be on video. So, for example, if you are someone who is creating a product, like a course that relates to baking or something like that, you don't want to just create an ebook. You want to create a video course showing them step by step what to do. If it's hair braiding, you want to create a step by step video course showing them exactly what to do. Okay. So finally, your first product doesn't need a perfect launch. It needs clear messaging, consistent visibility, simple direction, and you want to start small, stay clear, let your marketing support your product, not overwhelm you. That's how beginners turn their first product into their first sale. I want to just go over quickly again the different ways, the steps of marketing. So I'm going to do step 1 all the way through to the end, which was step 6. And I'm not going to go in detail. I'm just going to do it, like list the steps again so that you can write them down. Step 1 is to pick one platform. Step 2 is to define one clear problem. Step 3 is to create 3 core content topics, and I'm going to go through those topics, those core content topics again. The problem, why it's frustrating. The solution, how to think about fixing it. The result, what changes after. This keeps your content focused and your message clear without burning you out. Okay. Step 4 is to talk about the product before you sell it. Okay. Step 5 is to make the call to action very obvious. Because if people don't know where to get your product from, they're just going to keep moving. For me, I keep telling people you can purchase my digital product abundance challenge in the bio. You can sign up to my newsletter also in the bio. If you're watching or listening to this on the replay, you can grab it in the description. Okay? Step 6 is to repeat more than you think you should. People think people don't want to keep repeating their product and talking about it because they think, people are going to think I'm selling too much and then they're going to run away from my content. No. People that want to learn something, they want to buy something. It is what it is. The amount of TikTok DMs that I receive, and I don't even have 500 followers on TikTok. I have 360 followers on TikTok right now. And I receive DMs back to back every single day asking me questions. Oh, do you have a digital product for sale? I'd like to purchase it. Do you have a course? I want to buy it. Do you have a coaching? I want to sign up. And why? Because I'm telling people that they can purchase a product, but they have to DM me. Okay? So I'm going to go into the final thought again. Your first product doesn't need a perfect launch. It needs clear messaging. It needs consistent visibility. It needs simple direction. You want to start small and you want to stay clear. You want to let your marketing support your product, not overwhelm you. That's how beginners turn their first product into their first sale. I really hope this helped anyone who is listening. And I really hope that you will go off and create your first digital product and stop procrastinating. Just get it done. If you're doing nothing right now because you're sitting down listening to this stream, get off the stream and go and create something. If you're going through something right now, emotionally, whatever, let me tell you something. The single best way to get out of a funk or to get out of any kind of depression or anxiety or whatever is to create. Do something. Progress. Build something. Put it out there. Shamelessly sell it. Because if you're not creating digital products, you are leaving money on the table, I'm telling you. Even if you have a 9-to-5 job, do this on the side. If you're struggling, you really don't know how to go about it, email me. I have my email in the bio. I have something called a 90-day accelerator program. And I'm helping people to build digital product businesses with clarity and intention. If you want to build a digital product business and you don't want to do it on your own, email me. If you want to build a digital product business and you need help, you need someone to do it for you, email me. A lot of my products now I'm only offering as a invite only because I don't really want to just put it out there and have random people purchasing my product. So most of the stuff I'm now selling is pretty much invite only, where people email me, I have a chat with them, I see if they're the right fit, and then they go along with it. So you can send me an email. I have my email deliberately in my bio, so you can send me an email and we can start from that. The 90-day accelerator program, teaching you how to build a digital business from $0 to $10,000 a month. The digital abundance challenge, it's for anyone who wants to start a digital business but struggling with consistency and their mindset as well. Okay, I've noticed that some people have added to the poll and said fear is another issue. What are you scared of? In the poll, I've asked what is stopping you from launching your digital product and what are you scared of? What's the fear? 33% of people have said they don't know what to create. I've spoken about that in the stream already. 33% of people have said that they feel like the tech is overwhelming. I've already spoken about that. And 33% of people have said that fear is a factor. One of the reasons why they don't want to set up their digital product business is because of fear. So if you're scared, what are you scared of? What's the fear? What are you actually frightened of? What are you scared of? Because a digital product business is actually shouldn't really be a scary thing because, I mean, it's not like you're opening a shop where you're going to spend thousands and thousands on opening a shop, a physical store, and then it collapses, it fails. So what are you scared of? What is the actual fear? What is scaring you when it comes to building a digital product business? I really would love to know what that fear actually is. I would love to know because I think sometimes people are scared of failure. Some people are even scared of success. Some people are scared of stepping into the unknown. Some people are scared of leaving their old personality behind, because when you want to build something meaningful and successful, you need to leave your old personality behind. Hi, Digital Profit Hub 39. How are you doing? Where are you from? I can't see your picture very well, but I think I might have seen you before, but I'm not sure. Do you already sell digital products? Because obviously I can see from your name, Digital Profit Hub, you most likely do already sell digital products. You're from Nigeria. Okay, that's excellent. How long have you been, because I can see it says Digital Profit Hub. Do you have a website? What are you currently working on at the moment? By the way, if you're on TikTok, you should follow me over there. I'm Dee Digital TikTok over there. I'm doing a lot of live streams on TikTok as well, where I show my face mostly when I'm doing live streams there. We're talking a lot about digital products. If you have some insight into building digital businesses, then it'll be great to have you on the TikTok streams sometimes, if you're up for that, or if you're interested. So tell me more about yourself and what you're currently doing, and how long you've been doing the digital business. I would like to know. I like to talk to people from different parts of the world when it comes to building digital businesses. Anyway, while I'm waiting for your response, you know, there are many reasons why people just shy away from starting a digital business. And often it's a fear of many things, but sometimes it's a fear of having to work too hard and burning out. Because if you're going the organic route when it comes to marketing, you do need to put in a lot of work. You know, creating content, coming up with ideas, interacting with your audience, all of that. But if you're going down the paid ad route, then obviously it's money invested, and that can be a problem as well. Like feeling scared of having to pay all this money and then not seeing results and all of that. But that's where you need to stop overthinking and realize that everything is a risk. Building a business is always going to be a risk, but it's never going to be a mistake. It's never going to be a mistake, because even if it doesn't do well straight away, or even if you have to pivot and change course, it should always be a lesson, and you're always going to learn from whatever you've built. You know, my first digital product was a complete and utter flop. My first digital product was an e-guide. No, it wasn't really a guide. It was just a book that I wrote, and it was about my life. It was called Delve, My Heartfelt Notes on Diving Deep and Climbing High, which honestly I thought was an amazing title, and I thought it was going to sell millions. And, you know, days and weeks went by and I only sold like a few copies. It was because I didn't really understand my audience. I just put it out there and didn't really think about it. But that didn't make me stop. I continued and I created another product. But the second product I created was a product that I actually knew would sell, because I wrote an article about blogging, and I looked at the comments in that article, and I noticed that a lot of people had the same problem. So I decided to create an e-guide that addressed that problem. And I went back to that article and I put the link to the e-guide in that article, and I had my first sales within a few minutes, to be honest. And I had more sales like within a few hours, and within a few days, I made my first 10K from that very basic digital product. So your first product isn't always going to be the money product. I can see from the poll that more people have said that they don't know what to create, and that is 60%. 20% said fear, 0% have said they don't have an audience. So that essentially means that people do have an audience, but they just are scared of these other things. So if you have an audience, you're leaving money on the table. You don't know what to create. This is what I say all the time. It starts with you. Ask yourself, what problems have I had, and what have I done to solve those problems? You can also ask yourself, what can I do that I can teach others? You could be like, I can bake. I'm going to create a course teaching people how to bake. I can sew. I'm going to teach people how to sew. I can crochet. I'm going to teach people how to crochet. I can do amazing African braids. I'm going to teach people how to do these braids. Like, there's so many things that you can do based on what you already know. For example, you might run a business already, a restaurant business, a cafe, a food delivery business. You might run something like this, and you are going to create something that teaches people how to do the same thing. So when it comes to I don't know what to create, the reason why people have this problem is because they think they have to create something that is outside of themselves. Like, oh, I need to try and think of a niche that people are going to search for just so I can make some money, which is great. You want to make money. But when you're a beginner, trying to do all this research to find out what people want can be overwhelming. You see? So if you ask yourself a question, oh, okay, what can I do? And often the answer is staring you in the face. You know, there are some people that are so good at cleaning. Like, they just know where to start in an apartment. They can walk in and they can say, okay, right, this is where I'm starting. And they have a checklist of all the things they're going to be doing to clean. You can literally create a course that teaches people. It sounds weird, but some people would purchase it. You know why? Because there are a lot of people that are starting out from scratch in their lives, and they've never had to do a single thing in their lives. They've never had to even lift a vacuum cleaner or a broom, because they might have come from privilege, eventually hit rock bottom and had to start from scratch and don't know anything. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to do anything. And so those kind of people would easily purchase a product that shows you how to clean, shows you how to cook, shows you how to, as much as you can go on YouTube and learn these things, some people, they don't have the patience to search on YouTube for the right video. You see? So they would rather have something they can buy. Everything is packaged in one thing, and that's the end of it. They learn, they move on. Okay? Anyway, this has been quite eye-opening for me, the poll, to see that 60% of people just don't know what to create. That has been very eye-opening for me. And, it's very simple, actually. It doesn't require anything too intense to know what to create. Like I said, start with yourself, look within yourself and find out what you can teach other people. And that's how you can come up with your idea. Anyway, I'm going to leave this stream here. Thank you so much for joining and listening. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Digital Profit Hub and Jawad Aoun, who said hi. I really do appreciate it. Digital Profit Hub. You didn't answer my question, but you can send me an email if you want. I have my email in the bio. I'm on TikTok live stream every single day, so you can jump into TikTok live stream. I'm Dee Digital TikTok on TikTok. Dee Digital TikTok on TikTok, so you can you can go and find me on there. Also, anyone who wants to join the Digital Abundance Challenge, I've got the link in the bio. Have my newsletter in the bio as well. I also have my email address if you want to have a chat with me. Digital Profit Hub, you can send me an email as well, and I'll definitely respond. Take care. Bye-bye.